were a bit raunchy and raucous.
We kept you on a really short leash.
Nice to be on someone's leash sometimes.
I was gonna say, with that hair, you better play an instrument. It is so rock and roll. I love it.
I think she's a they. That didn't come out right. Can you do this for, a donut?
People would do anything for a t-shirt.
That's like genius.
Welcome to the Rainbow Remix. This week's episode is a hybrid of a festival that just happened on Saturday, Pride on the Block, which is a really important fundraiser for an organization called Transpire Help, which helps LGBTQ plus members in the community with addiction recovery. And also we're going to rewind back to one of our shows we did last year with starting for the summer with Aria Velz, who's the critical lesbian, giving her hot picks for the summer of movies and lesbian films. So stay tuned and enjoy episode 219 of the Rainbow Remix. Here we go.
Substance abuse, mental health, whether if you need somewhere to stay or, just guidance, Transpire Help is your guidance, baby. So y'all make some noise for Transpire Help and Inspire Help. Yes. Also, y'all make some noise for the Peach for having us here today. And remember, every dollar that you spend at any of the vendors or at Transpire vendors, they go to charity. So thank you guys so much for being here and choosing Pride on the Block as your turn of spot, baby. Happy Pride to each and every one of y'all. My name is Prince Trilla, and I am your drag host here today. Are y'all ready for some performances tonight?
And a whole lot of spice. We can paint the house, or we can paint our nails. You know there ain't nothing like a blue-collar girl. Blue-collar girl, always rock the world.
All right, so a little backstory. I was a performer. I did musical theater my whole life, and I stopped performing. And I've written songs my whole life, but I never recorded them. I never performed them. And then about a year ago, my friend Liam calls me and says, I can't perform at Pride on the Block. Can you perform one of your songs? And I said, what? Me? No way. And so I did. And a year later, here we are, and I've been performing all around Palm Beach County. Thank you. Okay, so
for the most part, I believe.
Hey. Are you the artist?
Yes.
These are awesome.
Hey everyone, JD from the Rainbow Remix. I'm with Craig McInnes, and you are the reason for the Peach, I hear.
I am one of the reasons. There's 6 studios here, so I'm 1 out of 6. I do manage the art collective, the program that contains the 6 studios. We got about 7 or 8 artists rotating at any given moment, and we do all kinds of events here, live music, open mic comedy, classes, workshops, so it's fully activated.
This is an amazing venue, and your art is so gorgeous and different.
Thanks. Working hard at it.
Well, I know that you're making a huge difference.
We're doing our best, absolutely.
You're making a huge difference in the community. Everyone here
Thanks.
told me how much None of this would exist without you.
It's at its heart, it's a collective, it's a community thing. So like we try to find people that we can collaborate with, people like-minded individuals from all different creative fields, and give them a place where they can come together and find ways to work together. So I mean that's pretty much been the concept since the beginning, about 3.5 years ago, and it's expanding because people are looking for opportunities and they're looking for spaces to get creative in.
So this is work in progress, and you don't know. This is what you get inspired.
Well, it'll tell me.
It could be a face, it could be an eye, it could be an elephant.
It could be abstract, yeah, it could be a lot of things. We'll see.
All right. Well, when you're on the show, if this is done, let's know.
Oh, that'd be great. We'll see.
All right.
We'll see if it strikes me.
The mystery continues.
Such a unique concept, and it's not your idea?
It is not my idea. I'm the manager. So Art Collective is something that's been going on for years and years. This is the brainchild of one Rodney Mayo, also Subculture Group, which owns a lot of entities around town and throughout South Florida. So this was his concept. He came up with this when he was a kid. His sister started one of the first art collectives that happened in the city of New York. And he always wanted to replicate that kind of feel and vibe. And here we are many, many years later, because he was a youngster when he saw that and felt that. And so he's made it come to life, and I'm honored to be managing it and be a part of it.
Wow. It's almost like an art commune or something, right?
Pretty much. We just don't live here, but we pretty much almost live here. Constantly working, constantly making things happen.
Well, with artists, that's your life, right?
Absolutely.
It's your passion,
There's no other way.
That is so cool. I am so excited to meet you, and you're going to be on the show. We're going to have Craig on the show, and we're going to hear way more. How can people support this or find out more about being part of this?
The easiest way, since you might be on your phone when you're watching this or a piece of technology, is thepeachwpb.com. So just look us up on the web. You're going to find a digital calendar there. You're going to find artist profiles. You're going to find everything you want to know, or social media, the Peach WPB.
Awesome. I'll put that in the links.
Cool.
Well, nice meeting you, Craig.
You as well.
We're going to get back out there in the heat.
Have fun. Peace.
All right.
Ooh, somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, and the dreams that you dream of once in a lullaby. That you dream of, dreams really do come true. Ooh, someday you wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind me.
We're good. Okay, so we are kicking off this show with Aria Velz. Let's let her in.
Yeah.
And, start Pride the right way. How you doing, kiddo?
Great, how are you doing?
We're good, we're good.
Kicking off with last week art and today with Aria Entertainment. So Pride Arts and Entertainment is just awesome.
Really, it really is. We've got good stuff happening for Pride Month because we also have Chef Josie from Top Chef.
Yeah.
No way, Josie from Top Chef. That's amazing.
Yeah. So
this is really kicking it for Pride. Pride Month.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. And then
so excited about you being here because I love when you're here. You bring us so much great information. I'm sorry, Denise. I didn't mean to.
No, I was going to say, I feel like JD makes a mental checklist of every single show that we mention and then doesn't ever get to see any of them. We'll still go back and watch The L Word and Sex in the City. Am I close?
Yeah, you're very close. I do make the checklist, got to watch that, and then I totally forget about it. And then, but sometimes it pops up. And then I'll say, we talked about that on the show.
Yeah.
Let me check it out.
Mm-hmm. It's one good thing, though, that I'm noticing, about Pride Month, is that, all your streamers, the first thing down will be LGBTQ content, and it'll be a list of all their cool stuff just jammed on there for you to, you don't even have to search for it. It's just right in your face for the month of June. And I love that about it. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm imagining, well, this is funny because I was getting ready to send the email link and I thought, I need to ask Aria a question. Do you get like a lot of people telling you, you have to watch this, you have to watch that? And
all the
it's stuff
time.
that you don't like, that you didn't know of? Like, are people kind of tipping you off to some stuff? Or I know
Well,
it's
it's
you, for what you're doing and what you're watching, but I'm just wondering if you do get any good tip offs from people.
I do. I get a lot of tip-offs from people. I always welcome tip-offs
Yeah, yeah.
because I try to keep abreast of things, but particularly if people are like, "Hey, you need to watch this series," then I like, yeah, of course I want to prioritize that. Um Sometimes people will like ask me to watch series or movies that I have seen, but I like don't want to make content about it because I'm like, man, I don't know if it's like has a broad enough appeal. I don't know, or I don't know if I'll have any much to say about it. But generally, if people ask me to watch something, I'll totally watch it and try to make content about it.
Oh, that's cool. That's really good. So it's a little bit of a give and take.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
I get a lot of, here's what I get a lot of. I get a lot of people asking me to watch Gap the series and Blank the series, which are two web series
Oh,
that are quite good. I just haven't really like gotten around to like making videos about them. I know I should, but to me, like there's also a double-edged sword of like, well, it seems like everyone has already watched this thing, so like what like should I bother making content about it if like everyone's already watching it? It depends. Like it
that's
depends on how I
interesting.
feel. And if I
It's
had
an interesting point.
limitless time, I would make stuff about everything.
Did you
Your take on it too, like because you give a lot of fun facts behind some of the films that like things people might not know,
Yeah.
really doing a deep dive into some of the uh, some of the details.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, I'm sure people do, want to hear, they want you to watch it because they want to hear your take on it.
Totally.
Yeah, so
Yes.
that's one way. But
Absolutely, absolutely.
I remember like back in the day when Tello.com first came out, and it was kind of like the only place that had a nice condensed version of original lesbian content. And one of my favorite things on there was Roommates with Julie Goldman. And
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a lot of their stuff was just really good at the time. Maybell was really good. Um, but I noticed that they're trying to infuse it with some new energy and some new stuff. Like we're gonna have Kristen Baker and her fiance Stacy on because they've launched a lesbian travel show and they're
Oh,
traveling
wow.
all around the world. And not only are they making, like instant influencer kind of content, but they're also filming the broader version of like at places where they are all over the world, really. I mean, I think they just got back from Spain. Now they're back in Nashville, but they're, hyper focusing on lesbian owned businesses, events, bars, the last of the bars, and going behind the scenes and talking to the people that created, that run it, and getting their take on why it's important to keep these things going because our bars are on the decline. And they're
So
just, yeah, they're trying just to give kudos
existent.
to the people
Yeah.
that are keeping them going. So that's pretty cool. So I had just said to myself the other day, like maybe I should re-up my membership, like because I don't even remember if I have my membership is any good anymore. So I was like, maybe I need to delve into that. So I've got a little bit more content because you know what? After watching The Fosters, and getting like reacquainted with what, lesbian representation, and even though it's from when did that come out? 2011?
Yeah, 2011, I think.
Yeah, I think 2011 to 2016 or something like that. What you see nowadays is just so different from that. Like I just feel like you're not going to see that kind of content right now. People want edgy, they want cool, they want sleek, they want,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
yeah, so I just felt like really nostalgic getting back into that show, and that's what made me
Yeah.
think maybe I'll get my Tello membership back and and go back and see some of the older stuff and see what they're doing now
Right.
to try. I mean, it's really hard to stay current. I don't know how you do it.
I mean, I'm sure some would argue that I don't do it that well. Because there are plenty of shows that like there are plenty of shows that like I am watching, but like I don't really have much to again, I don't have much to say about it. I feel like, well, I don't really want to necessarily say stuff about it unless I really feel like I have something interesting to say. But I also think that there's just like a lot of content out there. But in a way, like the Fosters is like so different than a lot of other content out because the Fosters is a show. It was like on a cable show that had like 20 episodes a season, which is great. But now everyone wants to do like
10.
8-episode miniseries.
Yeah.
And so there's so many of those. I'm just like, well, I can't really keep up with those, and like they don't grab people's attention as much. That's why like a lot of people I think are like really starting to mourn the like the staying power of like network shows, which were really reliable because so many streaming services are prioritizing these like 8-episode seasons that you only get like once every 2 years.
Yeah. It's hard.
Now I'm worried like, okay, if I make a video about this, is it going to get canceled 3 weeks later? And then people are going to be like really pissed off that I got them excited about a show that's like not going to produce any more episodes. That has happened enough times where I'm like, oh my God, like what do I do?
Now it's something that you have to worry about. Like now it is definitely something you have to worry about. I was kind of mad when Uncoupled, like I waited a year for it just to hear that it was going to get picked up somewhere else, and then they decided not to go with it. So ultimately it's canceled, but they left you hanging for 18 months, like that's
totally.
I
mean, that's what happened with like A League of Their Own.
Right. Same thing. Yeah. There was going to be a 4-episode closure kind of thing. And yeah, that's just that one was painful. I'll admit that one was painful.
And the other thing is like series are now like Hack. We waited so long for Hacks.
Yeah.
8 or 9 episodes and it's over. It's like you said, Aria, like it used to be 20 episodes were in a season.
Right.
Yeah.
So you really get into it. Once you start getting into it, it's like there's a season finale at 9.
Yeah.
So,
it's really hard for shows to like really enter the zeitgeist now.
Yeah.
I do think Hacks is starting to pick up a lot more momentum though. So I think Hacks is hopefully a series that will continue to have some longevity, but there are plenty of other series that I really like, but I'm like, I don't know if people are gonna I recently started watching season 2 of We Are Lady Parts, which is a show I have been anticipating for a long time. Like I've been waiting for season 2, and like now I think it's so great, it's so funny, it's so exciting, but I'm also like, I don't think anybody is watching this because it's been like 2 years since season 1.
But isn't that out of here? Isn't that out of the UK?
It's out of the UK, but it's on Peacock now.
Right, but here's the thing with that. That's typical. Like that's not an indication that it won't get picked up. That's typical that they'll go 1.5 years, 2 years before the next series of something comes out.
For the UK, yes, but for indication if like US streaming services will pick it up, that's something that could be a fact.
Yeah, no, I think they will. It is something that it's sometimes I feel like I hate being over here because I have to wait so long. Like we still don't have season 3 of Hacks yet. It's nowhere.
Really? Do you not have a VPN?
We do, but I hate watching stuff on my laptop. So I just don't even my wife will be like, oh, we'll just put the HDMI quick cable on and we'll boot it up and we'll watch it from the laptop and we'll put it on the TV. By the time we get all that, I'm so frustrated. I don't even want to sit still.
Do you use a Mac or a PC?
We have Macs.
If you have a Mac laptop, you can just cast it directly from your laptop onto your TV.
We do all that stuff. But yeah, so that's she also has like a password from an Australian streaming site, and that that's it's on there. But it's weird because we used to be able to just get it on Amazon the same time as you guys. So I don't know what it is, but sometimes I feel fortunate because I have to wait so long for American shows to come over. I stuff that void of when they're not here yet with all the British stuff. And then that's quick because you want to talk about short seasons. 6 episodes is a season here. You know,
Totally.
6 or 8 episodes is a season
Here.
here. So I can watch a whole bunch of those, and then by the time I'm done with like Departure with Archie Punjabi or Trigger Point with Vicky McClure or Vigil with Saran Jones, like I can watch all those things, and then by that time my American shows will be back because they've finished now in the States. So I don't have a big lull where I don't have anything to watch. So in a way I'm fortunate, but in a way I hate the fact that my social media is geared towards stateside things. So I'll see spoilers and clips and all kinds of stuff before it even gets here. You know,
Totally.
like God, this sucks. But what are you watching? Like, are you like us? Are you diving into Pride like with like your favorite or a revisit or something new?
Well, I mean, I actually have been watching the UK reality dating show I Kissed a Girl.
Mhm.
And so that's been like quite fun. That season just finished,
Yeah.
and that's been like quite a delight to watch with my wife. And I'm trying to make like a bunch of videos on it specifically for American audiences who can't watch it.
Oh yeah,
But that's been really great. I've also just been trying to there's a big backlog of shows that I'm trying to get into. I recently started watching I finished the series Under the Bridge, which I thought was really great. I have started watching the limited series Past Lies, which I think is quite good right now.
Hmm.
And I'm trying to get into finish Hacks because we haven't even gotten to season 3 of Hacks. We're so behind.
Yeah.
And then also the new Pretty Little Liars series.
Yeah.
It's a lot. But recently, actually, a couple weeks ago, I was in New York workshopping a musical because my quote unquote day job, I guess, is being a theater director. And so while I was in New York, I saw like 4 different plays that featured lesbians and queer women, which was awesome. So that was
cool.
great.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's fun. Like a whole different take, you know, like live theater. There's nothing like that feeling you get
Truly.
like walking into a
I
theater.
loved it.
Yeah.
I mean, if I lived there, I'd probably be going to a show every weekend because when we went up there,
Totally.
we saw a play called Kimberly Akimbo, and that
Kimberly
was
Akimbo, yes.
perfect. And it was closing the next weekend, so
Yes.
we're so happy we got to see that. Really a different kind of.
I mean, you know the musical Fun Home, right?
Yes.
No.
Have fun home.
I know.
Oh my gosh. JD. So the woman who wrote the music for Kimberly Akimbo, she also wrote the music for Fun Home, which is an amazing, like the best lesbian musical. And it's based on the memoir Fun Home by Alison Bechdel.
I'm gonna have to
And
check
great.
that out.
You should. It's truly like the best lesbian musical ever.
I always wonder like why Broward Center and Kravitz Center and stuff don't have just throw something like that in for June. You know, like
Yeah,
Pride
they
Month.
should.
They need
Yeah.
to just jump on the bandwagon. You know what I mean? Like in like local theaters are you know like I mean but isn't there a lesbian theater in Fort Lauderdale now? The Thespians or something like that.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
they
cool.
do. Yeah, they do randomly. They don't do it
Yeah.
on a regular basis, but they randomly will rent a small theater, and they'll do thespian lesbians is what they're
Yeah.
called.
I love that.
Yeah.
And I haven't made it to one yet because I always, typical me, see it like when it's done or it's happening and I already have something to do. They don't run them very long, you know.
Yeah.
It's just for me a couple of
Yeah,
weekends.
it's like a Friday to a Sunday, right?
Yeah,
but
and you're lucky if it's like 2 weekends. Usually it's just
Yeah.
the one weekend, you know.
Yeah, definitely. But that's pretty cool because like you add that to the repertoire of you know, what's on streaming, what's on regular television, what's in the movies, and what you know, what movies are out there. Then throw in a little lesbian theater. Like that's good. That's a nice mix of culture.
But I try. Ideally, I would love to get more people to see theater. Like I love theater. And as like a theater director, I'm very passionate about doing lesbian and queer works. But you know, it's a lot. It's a lot. I felt actually quite satisfied with different videos I've made about plays, but I think there should be more.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, without a
So
doubt. I remember working in theater and I tried so hard to get our director to throw in like one lesbian or queer play. I mean, I worked for 10 years and was stage manager. I filled in when, I was like an understudy half the time. And I mean, like it was like an all hands on deck kind of local theater, community theater kind of thing, but the guy was just he put together his yearly um you know uh films based on what he thought the audience would respond to.
Hmm.
So he was a very old Jewish man and he had a very old Jewish following. So we never really, I think we did last summer at Bluefish Cove once in 10 years,
Yes.
and
Last.
that was it. And then I was like, that was I can't fight like that. Like I can't fight that hard. I just can't. It was a lot to get one play in 10 years. But yeah, he was gearing it towards, his audience. But I think nowadays it should be so easy. Is there a play in New York called My Son's a Queer or My Son's a Queer? Am I saying
Yes,
that right?
yes.
Is
My
it
son's a queer. It was yes, it was gonna be on Broadway, but then like the opening got delayed. But yes, I think it's called, yeah, I forget the full title.
My Son's a Queer and That's Okay or something like that, right? Like there's a
Uh,
little parentheses or something. But I follow the
but
guy.
what can you do?
What can you do? That
oh,
was
but what can
yeah.
you do?
Yeah. And that looked, I mean, just from the clips and everything that the guy was posting on Instagram, it looked like that would be a winner. And then I was so sad to see that it didn't get the opening, it wasn't going as scheduled. That was supposed to be like in February and
Right.
it didn't happen. So hopefully, with any luck, that'll be, gain a little steam once it gets going, because I think that's going to be pretty good. It must be to get there. I
Yes.
mean, it came from somewhere else to New York,
Did I
that's
see that your wife wrote a play? What did I see on that something? Speaking of live theater, I wanted to ask you about that.
Yes, actually, I'm very proud of my wife, KJ. She wrote a play that got workshopped at a theater company in the DC area, Signature Theater, and um it's an abortion road trip lesbian rom-com
Oh,
that takes place in 1968 in Boston. My wife is from Boston, and so she had the first workshop for the play, and it was really awesome. I was only there for the showing, but it's very romantic, and it's about this butch lesbian Puerto Rican taxi driver who meets this Irish American teacher, and they become friends and they slowly start to fall in love. And it's about how they both actually have quite a lot in common as people who have, history and heritage from people who were like ravaged by colonialism and Catholicism and who were island nations. It's really fascinating play, and it was awesome. She did such a great job, and I'm really hoping that it gets produced. Like, it's so good. I'm not just saying that because I'm the wife. Like, it's really good.
it's perfectly topical though, isn't it? My God, in
yeah,
this day and
yeah,
age. So yeah, even though it takes
Yes,
place then, those themes
right,
are all relevant today. So that's amazing. That's a little political, a little
yeah.
with the
How cool
history.
is that, though? That you guys like have this common thread that you,
yeah,
you do. You're a theater director, and you are the critic for lesbian work, and then your wife writes plays. Like it's just
yes.
did that just happen like by accident, or did you guys meet in that? I always wonder about that because I just love when people have common
Yeah.
interests, couples, because I don't always see that.
Oh yeah, she's been a writer forever. She's been a player for a long time. I've been a director for a long time, and so like we met on OK Cupid, but I was like, I don't want to date a theater person, but
Ah,
but her profile was just too irresistible. And
aw.
so we've collaborated quite a bit together actually, and we have like she has written work that involves like lesbian characters and I've directed it, and that's been awesome. But I'm really happy that like this is like her own play that she gets to work on, and I just get to be her cheerleader for it.
That's
Aw.
fun. Yeah, that's cute. That's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. And I always go, and is she watching anything good? Because I know that you kind of
Right?
have to lure her into something.
Yeah.
My
Got to be
Gracie
ready
Shelley.
and be in that
No,
frame of mind.
Oh, that's fun.
she is currently rewatching The Good Wife right now.
Oh, that's
And the
fun.
The Good Wife is like my favorite show of all time. So I love like catching a couple episodes of that with her. She's never in the mood to watch anything new. So currently her fixation is The Good Wife, which is great. I mean, you know, Archie Punjabi as Kalinda is one of the most iconic queer TV characters of all time. So I'm not mad.
Yeah, yeah.
That's why I watched Departure, because I love her.
Oh yeah, she's great.
Yeah, and that I like that with that show. It started with the plane, like they were investigating a plane crash. The next
Mhm.
one was a train crash, and
Mm,
last one was a boat accident. So
mm,
I like that they're not sticking with one thing and just
mm,
regurgitating and regurgitating. They shake it up every season.
right.
But again, 6 episodes and the whole thing is done, and you're like, what happened? That was
Right?
and it amazes me. Like, I think to myself, how do American programs do 22 episodes in a season and you can watch a British show, 6 episodes and it's done, and you feel just as fulfilled as if you watched 21 episodes of something? Like, they just, it's not that it's moving quick. And I don't feel like we're getting more information in each episode. It's just mind-boggling how different they write for TV over here as opposed to in the States. And
I
the
don't think
fact
we
that they
get
don't have a lot of
21 anymore.
advertisers.
I don't think we get 21 anymore. I don't think they do it. Right? Am I wrong? Am I just watching like
On
streaming?
networks.
Network TV doesn't it?
Yeah,
Like
on
the
networks.
Chicago's and the FBI's
Maybe.
and all that. Yeah.
Maybe. That could be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm
But
really
certainly
mad
like there isn't a streaming service that's doing 21 episodes of
that,
something.
no,
No,
not
no.
at
I guess
all.
that's why I watch streaming stuff.
Yeah, probably. And I'm mad that I have not got 911 Lone Star back, because like
Mm,
we ended on the boys' wedding,
right.
and it's just like, okay, like I need let's go, let's rock and roll here. So I don't know what's
Right.
taking so long. Do you guys have it in the States now? Is it back or no?
That's one I haven't been watching. 911 Lone Star. Do.
Because I love the trans character on that, and I love the cop and the firefighter, the two guys.
That's
And
like a spin-off, right? From 911?
yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
that one I don't like. Like, I
You
don't like
don't?
the original. I like the Texas one. I like the Lone Star.
Really?
Yeah,
I watched that
Yeah.
one.
Huh.
yeah.
I watched
Interesting.
the
Yeah,
other
it was renewed for a fifth season, but haven't heard news about it, which is interesting.
They'll probably like punch it in during May sweeps. I remember those days where they would build up, the lesbian wedding on Friends, or they would build up a kiss.
one. Right.
Like,
right.
oh,
Yeah.
you're like, oh yeah, it's May sweeps.
One of my favorite niche subjects is like the Sweeps Week lesbian episode. Like that's one of my favorite things. It's like nobody remembers that, but that was like such a thing in the 90s and 2000s.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Every
Totally.
other commercial would be plugging it. And
100%.
remember when Winona Ryder was on Friends and kissed Jennifer Aniston?
Yeah, classic
Oh,
Sweeps Week episode.
Oh, yeah, that was a sweeps, right? But that was
If anyone listening doesn't know what sweeps is, sweeps is like when a lot of these businesses who are setting rates for commercials, that's when they would set rates for like how much it would cost to advertise. And so a lot of these TV shows would be like, okay, we need this set of weeks to have crazy high viewership. So we need to do like weird, shocking things. So a lot of times for network shows, if like a really weird plot point, crazy reveal would happen out of nowhere, often that was a sweeps week episode because they wanted as many eyes on it as possible. And like a very surefire way to do that was to just have two women kiss each other. So like the Friends kiss was a big one.
yeah.
Roseanne lesbian bar kiss was the big one.
Roseanne, yeah.
Gilmore Girls spring break kiss. Like there were so many in which you just have two women kiss and then they like never talk about it again.
Never again.
Right,
Never
right.
again. It's just to get the audience tuned in. Yeah, going back as far as like LA Law. I remember that.
Yes.
you know?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, classic. Ellie Love, the very first, often credited as the first lesbian kiss on American television.
Right,
Really?
right. Yeah, it's just
That
like,
happened on
I
Ally
remember
McBeal
that so
too.
clearly.
It
On
happened like 3 times on Ally McBeal. There were three
yeah.
separate lesbian kisses. I'm pretty sure Ally McBeal kissed like every single one of her coworkers. She kissed, I'm pretty sure she kissed Lucy Liu. She kissed Jane Krakowski. I'm pretty sure
Portia?
she kissed Portia de Rossi. Like it. She kissed
Oh,
everyone.
definitely.
Yep.
Yeah, that
It's
happened.
hilarious. It's so funny. But you know, part of the reason why I think that's kind of the reason why I wanted my wife to be able to see the Fosters, because
Mhm.
she didn't get that in Australia. They didn't have like that network or
Mm.
whatever. And and it just got buried after, I mean,
Yeah.
after it
Yeah.
ended, there was no hype, no talk, no nothing, It was so for her to see that and it not be one of those staged sweeps week kind of things, like I was like, no, no, really, every week it's two lesbians that adopt all these kids. And it's two lesbians
Totally.
every week, they show them in bed, everything, it's like, so yeah, we started
Funny.
watching that, and
Yeah.
she's
And
really
911 kind of touched upon the gay storyline with what's his name? The character. Oh God, can't think of his name. Not Butch. What's his name? You know who I mean? The guy
Buck,
that the Buck. Buck.
yeah.
They don't really do anything else with it. Like you just once in a while he'll make a comment, and that's so far, it's been like one mention, and that's it. Like they never went back to that. But they do have Hen, the two
Yeah,
women. They do
yeah,
have that. But
yeah. But yeah,
um,
I do feel like Network tries to throw in a queer character, keeping
they
it
try
real,
little bit.
that kind of thing. We're keeping it real.
Did
But
you watch Sort of? Did any of you? Did we ever talk about Sort of? Is that something you?
That's been on my list, but I still haven't watched sort of, but I hear great things.
Yeah, it's pretty. It's a pretty. I watched all of them like when I found it, and then it was 3 seasons, and now like everyone's waiting for the next one. Did you watch that? Do you know what that is, Denise? It's like a. Would you say trans? He's like a trans character, and there's a lesbian. His friend is a lesbian character. Um, the main person, he's Indian descent, Indian ethnicity, and his
Yeah.
family didn't accept it at first, but then his mom accepted that he dresses like a woman. That's his identity. He identifies. But the last season, he was going to transition. That's kind of how they left you, and he
Mhm.
was the nanny for this family. The most unlikely person to be picked to be a nanny for this particular family. And the wife liked him, and she was the first person to refer to him as they. And he just like clicked with her. So that's kind of like the
is it
premise of that.
is it a reality show or is it scripted?
It's
It's
scripted.
scripted.
Oh,
It's
it
a
is.
scripted
Okay.
show. It's on, is it Max? I don't know, HBO?
Yeah, it's Max.
That's my issue. That's where Hacks is too, right? On
Oh,
Max.
yeah.
That's why
Yeah.
I'm not getting it here yet. So I probably don't even have it yet. Yeah, that's annoying. I can't figure that one out, but we'll get there. My wife in technology, she loves a challenge.
She'll do it. She'll
She'll
figure it
find
out.
it. She'll figure it out. She likes a challenge. Another show that I started watching because, again, Pride Month. I don't normally do this where I just look for, queer content to have on even just in the background during the day.
Mhm.
Is Love Victor, that spinoff
Oh,
from
yes, Love Victor.
Love Simon. Yeah, so I'm trying to get into that a little bit. It's cute. Sometimes I feel just like so old watching like high school shit, but I know that, it's relevant and it's, like that's where it's at this point, I guess, There's isn't there a series, and I don't know whether it's on Netflix, The Dead Detective, The Dead Detective,
Dead Boys
Dead
Detective.
Boy Detective, yeah. And that's
Wow.
got a little queerness to it now.
I'm impressed with your depth of knowledge. I mean, I'm like, what's the name? What's the name? Who's that person? You know the guy, but
Yeah.
I
No, it's what I can't, gotta, it's my brand. I gotta keep the brand up.
You're right.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad we have you on because like when I've been like you said, Denise, like because it's Pride Month, I'm looking more for the LGBTQ plus, but the lesbian content movies and shows. all I'm finding is like the drag shows and the guy
Right.
shows. Where is the lesbian? And a lot of it
Yeah.
is subtitled when I find it. It's not like regular,
Yeah.
like in English. So where, do you have any more suggestions, like for someone looking for just the lesbian stuff, the lesbian content, movies and shows?
Well, as in like specific streaming services or just like shows, movies in general?
Yeah, just shows and movies in general. Like
I
I
think,
like Carol and those shows, those movies.
yeah, I mean there like there's so many. It depends on the mood. It depends on the mood. For me, when I think of like movies I want to watch during Pride, I love movies and shows that are about gay women and men in like solidarity and like about,
Yeah.
activism and celebration.
Yes.
So like I think of the movie Pride, which is like
Oh,
I
that
like
was
to me
good.
like a
Yeah.
5-star movie.
Yeah.
Amazing movie.
Yep.
I think of I'll think of like But I Do, which is like an Indian like Bollywood film that's about a gay man and a lesbian who get married in order to like stave off their families being like,
Oh,
when are you gonna have children?
Yeah.
Think of like Dating Amber, which is like a really great, it's an Irish movie about a teenage lesbian and a gay man who like pretend to date. I just love that storyline. But I'll also think of like, If These Walls Could Talk Too, which is like a
oh
great
yeah.
movie that's like
That's a good
really,
revisit. That's a good revisit right
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
Mhm.
Very
Yeah.
good one.
Good
yes.
suggestion there. Mhm.
Have you?
There's also this movie called Until Rainbow Dawn that I think is very sweet. It's a Japanese film about two deaf women who like start dating
Yeah.
in Japan, and their families don't really accept them, and so they go to this city in Japan and they find like an LGBT deaf group, like support group, friend group to hang out with, and it's just a really cool story about like it's a narrative story, but it's like a really great story about finding solidarity and finding your community and how everyone can find their community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like ones that have a little surprise to it. Like you're not expecting it to be like have lesbian in it, or like Booksmart. Like I watched Booksmart
Yeah.
not
Booksmart's
even
great.
knowing that was gonna have like that, and I was just like so pleasantly surprised. So that kind of stuff I like, and
Totally.
hearing a lot of talk now that my friends are back from the Cannes Film Festival. There was a lot of buzz about Amelia Perez.
Amelia Perez, yes.
Yeah. Have you heard anything about that with Selena Gomez?
I haven't heard much about it. I just know it's like sweeping the awards.
Yeah.
But that's
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah. I want in, man. I want in. I want to see this.
Is it gay?
Yeah. It's about a trans. Yeah. Yes. Yes, it is. It's 100%. Yeah.
It's about a trans woman?
Yes.
Is a trans woman gay?
Uh, I don't really know the whole plot line of it. I just
Yeah.
know that thank God it's a trans woman playing the part.
Okay.
So that's,
Right.
and that,
True.
yeah, got a huge like 7-minute standing ovation after the movie closed at Cannes. So I was like, oh, yep, this is gonna be a winner. This is gonna be a winner. So yeah, I'm definitely keeping my eye out for that, because I guess, first of all, it is definitely hard to see something in the theater now, but I think something like that's like, I'm pretty sure it's like a dark comedy and it's also a musical.
Yes, I've heard it was a musical.
Yeah. So I'm down with that, man. I'm okay with something like that. But and that like something that quirky and weird, that'll get distribution. If it got that kind of response at Cannes, that'll get distribution. So that might come out in theaters. But there's not much that you can go see in the theater except
No.
for this month, when they plug a few, in there for us. But for the most part, yeah, I feel like we're kind of stuck home, watching what we could find on streamers, which is great because you got
Totally.
like, it's your choice, which is great. But like what JD was saying, like sometimes you just can't find it, or you can't find something. So I think that's one of the reasons why what you're doing is so important, because
Oh yeah.
I think as our little lesbian community goes, it's confusing. It's really confusing. And sometimes you want to revisit a show, or sometimes you want to revisit a movie, or you want to know what's out there now, what people are watching now, what's current now.
Right.
So I think, what you do helps keep it, it makes it easier for us, to just, well, let me just look and see what she's looking at and what you know what I mean?
Totally.
I love it. It's like having a resource, like it right there at your fingertips when you're not quite sure what to watch, or when you're doing the back and forth. What do you want to watch? I don't know. What do you want to watch?
Yes.
And you know what? I'm surprised, like you mentioned, it's true, like the theaters, for something to come out in the theaters. I am surprised when I think about it that I'm going to now mention Desert Heart again, which I've mentioned a million times when I was on the show. But that came out so long ago, and like, why isn't that happening more? Like, you would have thought that would have like broke a glass ceiling, that would have had so many more movies with lesbian lead stories coming out, like in the movies. And that was like a shocking movie at the time, because I remember
Right.
seeing it in the movies, like, oh my God, I can't believe this was in the movies. And but nothing, I mean, I keep saying that because what else? Like, there's not much else that has come out on the big screen like
Look,
that.
it didn't make a lot of money. It was a limited release. It didn't make a lot of
Why?
money.
You're probably right. I
Well,
mean,
I mean, I don't know I guess what do you mean by that? Because you have movies like Carol, like Portrait of a Lady on Fire. Like there are quite a few major lesbian romance stories. The Handmaiden,
I
like
mean,
that.
as far as like a studio backing a
like
lesbian or a
in the
lesbian
movies.
script, they're looking at bottom line numbers and ticket sales,
That's a good point.
and that's one of the things I think that puts them off. Just
Yeah.
say purely why we didn't just capitalize on the Desert Heart moment, like that's probably why. But it's now we're circling back to saying, you know what, there's a broad audience, for this. It doesn't have to be just lesbian, it doesn't have to be just gay men. Like you're appealing to an entire community, so I think they're starting to think differently, and that's why you're seeing, these movies. Like look at, and believe me when I tell you, it wasn't my favorite. It's way down the bottom of my list, but Blue is the Warmest Color. That was a big deal, like all of a sudden. And I'm not, and definitely not for the right reasons, but I think that we're on track for more of that kind of content to be made, but better quality, like better, like Carol, you know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
better director. You couldn't have asked for a better director for that movie, but and worthy actors and actresses being in it. Like we're coming back to that now, I think.
Was Carol in the movies? Like when you go to the
Yeah,
movie?
Oh yeah,
yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
definitely.
Carol it was a wide release movie.
Yeah,
I missed
yeah.
that. Like there was Bound. I guess if I start thinking, there were maybe a few more than I actually thought of. But I mean, I really don't
Yeah.
know if too many, right? Were there more than that?
Well,
Was
I mean, there were like Bottoms was just released a few months ago. That was an MGM movie.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
they're quite like Sony like produced Shortcomings, which was like also a few months ago. That was quite good. So there have been like quite a few.
yeah.
Like there could always be more, but you also see a lot of streaming services now putting out. Hulu has produced like a ton of like lesbian, like teen lesbian movies specifically.
Yeah.
yes,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's part of it too, is that Netflix, are making like, and Amazon too, like quality um movie of their own. So it's
Right, right. That's true. There's more of that now too.
little,
Like
little
there's
competition there, I think.
yeah.
It's hard. It's definitely hard. But yeah, I just think, it's Pride season. We should be watching all that content on our TV so that our algorithms pick it up, so that, directors with their little independent films that mean so much to them are getting seen, and like I love uh like plugging something. Like if I liked something like Dan's movie, JD, like everybody dance, right?
Yeah.
Like I loved having him on and talking about that, and
That
plugging it.
was
And
yeah.
I watch something good, like I want to tell people about it. And I don't care if it's old. I mean, yeah, if it's new, it's great, but I don't care if it's old, because I do think that there's, newbies that like to feel pseudo nostalgic,
Right.
yeah.
Right.
So yeah, that's why I was saying I think I love having, your take on these things and and the range of things I think is what always impresses me with you, Aria, because like I would never think to watch a Japanese movie about two lesbians. Like
Right?
just isn't in my wheelhouse.
Oh, yeah.
Like I don't even think that I have like a friend
Yeah,
circle that somebody would say to me, "Have you seen this?" So if I'm not getting it from you, I'm not getting it. That's what I that's what I'm happy about.
Yeah.
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 That's why we appreciate you. And also, I want to mention, I told Aria that we're going to send her a Rainbow Remix hat since
Yeah,
she's
yeah,
a
yes.
regular on the show. And
Oh,
I'm
that's
sorry it didn't get to you yet, but I'm waiting for them to be made. So as soon as
totally.
I made
Yeah.
2 prototypes, one for Denise, one for me, and then we're gonna get some more made just for you special Rainbow Remix people. So
For like our regulars, I think, yeah, you should have one. You should have one, definitely. Yeah, they're fun. They're very cute. They're really well done. Like JD doesn't do anything half-assed. When you put her in charge of merchandise, it's going to be top notch and full on quality. So, yeah, you'll love it.
I might have missed it with the sound, but I'm working on it. We're gonna get it.
So true, so true. Well, guys, I'm so glad that we were able to get this in during Pride Month. I'm super happy. I love all the suggestions, and it's it'll never not be important. I'll just put it like that. So if ever you're having a down day, just think what I'm doing will never not be important.
So true. Thank you for taking
Yeah.
the time to be here. I know you have to be somewhere, but I appreciate that we appreciate that you're here with us.
Thank you.
Appreciate
All right.
you.
Happy Pride.
And that's a wrap for this week's Rainbow Remix Rewind. Thanks for listening.